guys, so welcome to our last gentle yoga class for March, and for a while we will be doing yoga for flexibility next week. So just remember, take everything slow and everything at your own pace. Yoga is not a competition. Taking some nice deep breaths here for those who are just joining. We will want an optional block or hardcover book just to help us if we can't get quite as deep, put it off to the side. And if you have any knee pain, you can roll up your mat or grab even a sweater or something that you can use to cushion the knees. We will be on the knees for a few poses. So I'm just going to join you here in Shavasana. It's like we've got a good turnout for our last class. Getting ready for our long weekend. Maybe use that as your motivation of relaxation. Those 4 days to look ahead to. Setting your intention here. Make it a focus of your body. Whether it is to pay a little more attention to what your joints are feeling, or a little more attention to your muscles. Anything like that. Set that as your intention to focus your mind on. Keeping it really internal. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to slowly pull both knees into our chest and just start slowly rocking side to side, going as big or as small as you want. Good. Maybe drawing some little circles here. Again, just an option. Getting that nice and deep. Massage in that lower back. If you are drawing circles, we are going to switch directions. There we go. Oh yeah, feel that nice, relaxing movement. When you get to the top, come to stillness, pull those knees a little deeper, tuck your chin and give yourself a little hug. Exhale, release the left foot down to the ground. We're going to cross the right ankle just above that left knee. Going into a nice figure four. As you take your next inhale, let's pull the left leg in, grabbing the hind, threading our hand through that gap we've created, pulling it just a little deeper. So we use that right arm to really press out that right leg, maybe with the elbow, maybe with the hand, feeling this in that right hip, glute, or if you want to go deeper, you can lean your lower body just a little bit towards the left. See how that shifts that stretch, how that feels so good. Especially if you've already done your workout for the day. It's been a bit of a hard week because I know we've got a day off this week and next week, so I wanted to make our workouts a little harder. So really just enjoy this stretch. Last breath here. Good. I'm going to release the right foot back down to the ground and let the left ankle cross just above the knee. And as I take my next inhale, I'm going to lift the right foot up, grabbing underneath that thigh. And as I exhale, I'm going to pull nice and deep into this figure four, using the left elbow this time to push the left leg away from me. Exhaling, maybe pulling a little deeper, maybe pushing a little more on that left leg. Or if you want to go deeper, letting your lower body just so slightly fall to that right side. Feeling that nice stretch. Oh yeah, that feels good. Maybe one last breath here. Good. I'm going to release the left leg and I'm just going to grab behind both my knees. Inhale, tuck my chin. I'm just going to start rocking and rolling here. Keeping that chin tucked, so I'm just massaging out that lower back and upper back, not into the neck at all. Making this as big as you want, but we are going to come to that nice seated position. Give me one or two more. I'm going to cross my legs and then come to a nice forward fold position. Here, just let's come to the top of your mat. It's okay if you're facing the wrong way here. Just readjust yourself. You can keep your knees soft here. If your hands can't come to the ground, you can come to your legs and just let those hands hang. Exhaling, trying to let yourself melt a little more. Or maybe try and straighten those legs a little more as those hamstrings start to release. Letting them go just a little bit more, lengthening them out. I did promise those who came to my morning class that I would really hit those hamstrings up. So we've got a few things here. So just enjoy. Just release. Your next inhale, we're gonna halfway lift. Just bring the hands to the shin, flatten out the back, lengthen out through the crown of the head. We're gonna hold here actually for a breath cycle. And as you exhale, fold over. This time we're gonna take opposite hand to opposite elbow, creating a little extra weight, letting the head hang here into our ragdoll. Letting everything just fall forward in that upper body so that you can release those hamstrings just a little bit more. Good. Give me one more big breath here. Nice, slow, controlled. Good. I'm just gonna face the top of my mat here. I'm just trying to let somebody in the room here. And then I'm gonna soften my knees so my hands can plant on the ground. I'm gonna step the right leg back into a nice lunge position. All right, so I'm lunging, really opening up those hips. Nice little scissor motion. And here, if you want a little cushion for that back right knee, go grab it, and then I'm gonna drop that right knee to the ground. I'm gonna walk the left foot all the way out to the edge of the mat here into my nice lizard pose. As you exhale, really focus on sinking those hips down. You can release the back foot. If you want to go deeper, you can walk your hands a little farther forward, or if you've got your blocker book, you can drop to it, or drop your forearms all the way down. I know we're just warming up, so don't worry if you can't get all the way down. That's it. Exhaling, sinking a little deeper here. Good. If your arms are down or walked out, walk them back in, making sure you square your hips off center. And I'm going to walk my hands back towards my right knee as I straighten the left leg. I'm going to lift the foot up, flexing the foot. You can grab for the foot if you can reach it. Make sure we're not rounding down. We're taking a nice flat back here. You can always bring your hands to your hips or to the ground. You can rock that left foot a little bit, just side to side. Just feeling how this changes that nice hamstring stretch. You can always walk those hips back just a little bit more if you want to hit the ground with your hands, or you can be higher up. I'm leaving it up to you today. What feels good in your half splits here. Take one more last breath. Good. I'm going to walk my hands forward, planting that left foot again. I'm going to bring my hands to the inside of the mat, lift the right knee, and I'm going to step the right foot nice mat width apart in. So I'm in a bit of a wider forward fold here as I lift the hips and drop the head. Like I said, lots of hamstrings here at the beginning. Just letting that head go. You can always have your hands on your legs to support you if you'd like, if you can't reach the ground. Let's focus on bringing a little more weight into our toes here, as long as you don't fall forward. Really deepening that stretch. Good. All right, I'm going to walk my right foot back to where it would be in line in the center. I'm going to step the left leg back so I can just start here in my lunge position. So really focusing on opening up those hips, right hip forward, left, going back, scissoring open. If you want your cushion here, grab it for the left knee as I drop that left knee, and I'll walk the right foot back out to a nice wide lizard pose here. So you can keep that chin nice and lifted, releasing that foot. Just don't remember, no judging, just taking note of your joints, your muscles, your body, how they feel in each pose, each side. If you want to go a little deeper, you can walk your hands out, drop the forearms, or even put the forearms on your book or block. I'm going to stay up here. One side's always going to be a little bit more open than the other, and that's okay. Trying to keep that neck nice and long, so we're really focusing on opening up through the hips, the hip flexor, that whole pelvis region. Good. Give me one more big breath here. And if you're down on the ground or walked out, we're going to come back up, nice center, hands below shoulders. And then I'm going to start walking my hands back to my left knee as I straighten the right leg, flipping the toe up. Again, you can come into a proper half split where your hips are above the knees, or you can come a little farther back, letting your hands support you, or on the hips here, or using your block. And exhale, really pushing those hips down, flexing the foot, so we get that nice hamstring stretch. And then again, if you'd like, your choice to start rocking that foot, kind of windshield wipering it side to side, changing up that nice hamstring stretch. Letting this feel so good and deep into that nice hamstring. There we go. All right, I'm gonna walk my hands forward. I'm gonna curl the left toe under, lift the left knee, and this time I'm gonna step back into a downward dog. So your choice, walking out your dog, maybe dropping one heel at a time, maybe dropping one knee, maybe doing a little crisscross here. Just getting a little bit more lubrication in those joints. When you're ready, find a little stillness. Check out your hands, spreading them nice and wide, finger and thumb point forward, lifting those hips, looking between those legs. You can keep the knees a little soft here if you want. Hopefully those hamstrings are nice and loosened up though already. All right, if you have that cushion for those knees, you're gonna want it here. So I'm gonna place my knees on the ground here, nice little cushion. I'm keeping my toes curled under here. And I'm gonna walk my hands back so I'm kneeling. And if you have some of your toes, like your fourth and your fifth, that the bottom of the pads aren't quite touching, you can bring them underneath. You can also just fold your mat under. We're just gonna be here for a few breaths. You need to take some pressure off, you can come up. If you wanna go deeper, you can stay down. I will warn you, this is a little uncomfortable. We've done these before. These are those toe squats. So just take note and just hold on for another 2 breaths, relaxing those shoulders. Really working on that flexibility in those toe joints. Last little breath. Good. I'm just going to put my hands on the ground so I can lift my toes up, and I can put the top of my feet onto the mat so I can sit kneeling. If you can't kneel like this, you can always just drop to the side into that side saddle seat. I'm just going to be here shortly, so shrug those shoulders up and relax them and have those palms facing forward. Just lift the chin just slightly. Nice inhale here. Nice big exhale. And then I'm going to clasp the hands behind, pulling the shoulder blades together, bringing the palms together, pull the hands towards the ground. Take a nice big inhale here. And as I exhale, I'm going to fold forward here into a bound child's pose, dropping my head towards the ground. Try and keep that shoulder blade squeezed together. Maybe lift those hands up off your shoulder, or off your bum. And that's it. One more breath with our hands like this. Nice big and slow deep breath. And as you exhale, bring the hands back down. You're going to release them and bring them back out to a nice child's pose. Just lengthened Balasana here. Nice big inhale, and as you melt, exhale, press that torso to the ground. Just find one breath here with that forehead connected to the earth. So Focus on that little point. And I'm going to lift my forehead just slightly off the ground, lift my forearms, and I'm going to walk my hand over to the right side here, getting a nice side lateral stretch on the left, and then trying to drop your forehead. Don't worry, it doesn't reach the ground. We're focusing on that side stretch. So if you still got that cushion on your knees, keep it there. You will need it. Let's walk our hands back to center. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, let's walk over to your left or your other side. Really reaching that right arm still away from you, but also making that nice rainbow shape towards the left. So you're stretching out the right side body. The more active you keep the stretch, the more active you pull that right hand away, the deeper you'll be able to stretch. Give me one more big breath here. Exhale, melt a little deeper. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands back to center. Drop the head for a second, and let's bring our hands by our sides, palms facing up, and let those shoulders roll down towards the ground. Just let yourself melt here. Letting the back go. We tend to sometimes feel that tension in that upper back all that time on our computers and devices. It's nice to just let it release. And those shoulders lose all activity. Just melt here. One more breath. When you're ready, I'm just going to bring each hand below my shoulders, and I'm going to come back up to a nice standing kneeling position. If your knees are kind of narrow, you can bring them nice hip width apart. Coming up, we're just going to do a slight modification in our camel. So again, if you just have a mat, you can always fold it under cushion or sweater or anything here if you have any knee pain. I'm going to put my hands in my back pocket, kind of on that lower back, upper bum area, and pull those shoulder blades together. Step one, as you inhale, lift your gaze up to the sky. And as you exhale, I'm just going to push my hips forward a little bit as I now bring my gaze even higher up, looking at my ceiling. Still pinching the shoulder blades together, not shrugging here, just a little modified camel. Give me one more breath here. Good, come up. So you can stick to that variation, or we're going to do half camel. I'm going to bring my toes up because I need just a little more distance, or you could use a block here. So I'm going to put it on the left side if you're using a block by your foot. Otherwise, I'm going to just bring my right hand to my hip. As I inhale, I'm going to lift the left arm up overhead. I'm going to draw a nice big circle here, bringing that left hand to either my block or my heel, or again, just into that back pocket as I look over to the left, pushing those hips forward, gazing down to the left corner that's behind me. Just a modified camel here, or you can stick to variation number one. Just a quick camel, so let's take one more breath here. Using that core engage, you're going to push off with your left hand or use your core. And bring that left hand to your hip. Switch your block if you're using it. And as you inhale, lift the right arm up overhead, tracing it behind you, bringing that right hand to the heel or the block. Again, you can have those feet on the ground, but we're doing a nice gentle stretch today, so I'm keeping it a little high. Pushing those hips forward, not shrugging in those shoulders. Gazing down to that bottom right corner. Give me one more breath here. Good, and let's press off. And you can grab a quick drink. You can get rid of your knee cushion just for a second. We are not quite done with it, but I will come back to it. So just have your knee cushioning if you need it handy. All right, guys, when we're ready, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. So if you have your block or your book, you'll want it handy. We're going to do a pigeon and then we're going to go into gate pose. So you may want your block or book for both of those. So I'm just going to have it at the top of my mat here, so easy to access. So finding that nice, tall, long dog, pulling those heels down, really lifting those heels up. Really just enjoying this stretch here. Ryan always says I hold pigeon for a long time. Well, he's right. We're going to hold it a little longer today. I'm feeling I need that deep stretch in my hips, so I'm sure you guys are too. When you're ready, on your next inhale, let's all lift that right leg up to sky. Inhale. As you exhale, come to a nice hanging plank. Bring that right knee to the right elbow, and then slowly just drop it right by that wrist. I'm going to slide that right foot over to the left wrist if I can, then walk the left toes back here. So stay up here for a second. If you want, you can take that block and slide it under that rear right tush for a little support. But you don't have to. I'm just going to release my left toes, making sure my left toes are in line with my hips and knees. As you exhale, really press those hips down. All right, here, if you want to go deeper, you can come down to those forearms or stack block, or maybe all the way to the ground. I find I'm not super flexible, but this is the one pose I can get into. If you want to even just create a little rocking here in that right hip, right in that joint, just feeling those muscles, massaging them out. That's it. Just let yourself melt. You can always come up, play around with any height variation here if you'd like. Find any parts that are really tight though, just take a few breaths there and really breathe into it. Focusing on the muscle releasing. Let's give me 2 more big slow breaths. Go a little slower here. Nice big slow exhale. Finding that nice rhythm as we take a nice big inhale here. Nice big exhale. If you're down in any variation, we're just going to come back up and just have a last breath here, relaxing those shoulders. And I'm going to curl the left toes under, lift the knee, and I'm going to just step back into that nice downward dog for 2 cycles of breath. One more. When you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to do the opposite foot. So lift that left foot up. Then we're going to pull into a nice hanging plank. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. And slowly drop it to the ground. You're going to slide the left foot to the right wrist. Drop the right knee. As you walk that knee back a little further, starting here in your pigeon. Again, you can bring it underneath your block. That tush. Just stay here in a nice long pigeon, pressing up through those shoulders, no shrugging here. Just take note, one side can be different than the other, and that's okay. Here, if you want, you can start to walk your hands down, maybe your forearms, or you're on the block, stacked wrist, or maybe your forehead is all the way on the mat. Again, I invite you, if you'd like, to create some movement here, a little rocking. And that left hip this time. Just feeling that hip open and release those muscles all around it. Try not to hunch here, so use something for support if it's your blocks or your hands, your forearms, whatever it is. And let that back create that poor posture. Keep moving if you'd like, just for 2 more breaths. Otherwise, we're all just holding. Last one here. All right, if you're down here on the ground, we're going to slowly just walk ourselves back up. Take a breath here, just recenter yourself, press up through those hands. I'm going to take that right foot, curl the toes under, lift the hips. I'm going to step back, downward facing dog. Really pull those heels down, get that nice dog. And this is where you're going to want some knee cushion again. So I'm going to drop down to my knees again. I'm just going to turn to face you. So you'll want your block, and you may want to fold your mat over and get your knee cushion today. I'm going to take my block out and place it to the left side. So I'm going to come up. Just make sure you've got space towards your right here. So nice kneeling position. I'm going to step my right foot out so my toes are in line with my knees and that the outer edge is pressing right into the ground. I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to slide it down my right leg, and I'm going to lift the left arm up overhead here and gate. So just starting here, we'll come to the block in a second. Good. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, try and go a little deeper. I'm not putting pressure on that knee, just making a little connection with myself. As I inhale, bring both arms up, and I'm going to bring my left hand down to my block or the ground as I reach the right arm up overhead. Still pressing to the outside of that right foot. Lengthen out, still stretching right down through this right side. Palms face forward, neck is strong. One more big breath here. All right, using your core, engage your core, come back up, interlace your hands here. So really keep that core engaged. We're gonna do 5 crunches. We're gonna crunch to the left and up, okay? So just go as deep as you're comfortable. Come with me for 5, 4, 3. Core is still tight, protecting that. Last one. Good. Release your hands. Bring that right knee to meet the left. Switch your block. Nice kneeling position. Adjust yourself any way you need to. And then we're going to step the left foot out for gate here. Left toes in line with the knee. Left hand slides down that leg. Right hand comes up and over. As I reach my head and arm towards the left. Keeping a nice long spine. Try not to cave forward. Really lift up. Pretending you're stuck between a plane of glass and it's only letting you move in this lateral motion. That's it. Keep going. Good. Take your next inhale. We're going to bring our arms up. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the block or the floor, reaching the left arm up. Getting a nice long reach here. Stretching out, pull that arm, not shorting the shoulder, but just pulling that arm, keeping it nice and engaged. Good. Your last breath here. And again, engage that core, engage those obliques, and lift yourself back up, interlace the hands. This time we're gonna crunch right elbow down, okay? Come with me just for 5. Here we go, for 5. Go as deep as you want. 3, 2, and last one. Good. I'm gonna just slide my left leg under and I'm gonna come seated on my bum. And I'm just gonna have my feet nice and long. We're almost done. So I'm gonna bring the soles of my feet together here for Bada Kanasana. Sitting up nice and long. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward, letting your head just hang here. Maybe you're leaning your arms to get a little wider. Nice big inhale here. next breath, you're going to come up to a nice seated position. You're going to lift your arms out, palms in front, pull your shoulder blades together. Keeping your feet where you are, we're going to lower our torso all the way to the ground for 8 counts. Here we go. Core tight, back flat for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Bring the soles of your feet a little closer to your hips. Go a little deeper. Just let your hands relax on the inside of your thighs, creating that extra little weight here. We're going to go nice and deep into a quad stretch. We'll do a nice supine twist. Good. I'm going to bring my left knee over to meet my right knee so I can roll onto my right side. I'm just going to bring my right arm up so I can let my bicep rest on it, but it's up to you. You can have your head up, stacked on the wrist, or whatever. So I'm going to make sure I keep my bottom knee bent. I'm going to grab that top foot. Instead of letting that knee splay out, I'm going to pull it down so it's in line with my hips and pulling that foot back towards my tush. So we don't want it in line with our knee, bottom knee. We want to keep it in line with our hips. So it's pointing right to the bottom of our mat, getting this nice deep quad stretch here. Good. One more breath here. All right, we're going to do a little circle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my right knee up and I'm going to plant it on the ground. If you want some knee cushioning here, please go for it. I'm just going to move on my mat so it's still on my mat. I'm going to straighten my bottom leg and I'm going to roll all the way onto my stomach here. Okay, so this is kind of like that Utthita Hasta Padangustta B where we bring that leg out. And I'm going to bring my right ear, so I'm looking over to that left leg. And I'm really just letting that left hip melt. You can also put your hand underneath, create a little cushion or anything. Just make sure you're not in any pain here. And don't worry if your left hip is not making contact with the mat. Mine isn't either. That's what we call our work in progress. This left hand can just be anywhere to support us. If you want to get into that right pack, you can also bring that arm into cactus. So many variations here. Just letting yourself melt and relax. Try not to let the shoulders shrug. Last breath. Good. So inhale, I'm going to lift my head, bring both my hands under my shoulders so I can bring the left knee to meet the right. So I'm fully on my stomach. And I'm just going to shift myself over to my mat because I'm going to go into the left side of this. If you've got your knee cushion, you may want to shift it. So I'm going to pull that left knee up. So my hip is at 90 degrees out to the side, knees at 90 degrees. I'm going to bring my left arm to that same thing, 90-degree cactus. Left ear to the mat. My right hand's just supporting me. So you should really feel that left hip into the mat. The right hip's trying to get to the mat. That's the goal. Letting those hips open. These are tadpole variation here. Ryan said Tipsy Froggy. He is right. It is Tipsy Froggy. He always like it's some kind of frog. This is one of his go-to poses for sure. Really try pushing the hips into the mat here for your last breath. Bring my left hand and right hand both under my shoulder. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. I'm gonna bring my left elbow out so I can roll onto my left side here. Facing backwards here. you heard that, my mic was down. We're rolling onto the left side here. Head can be supported by the bicep or the hand. My left bottom knee is going to be bent, and I'm going to grab the top right foot here. So I'm going into a quad stretch, making sure the knee doesn't splay out. It's just pointing down towards the base of the mat. Putting the knee, maybe pull back just a little bit more. Again, listening to your knees here. We did a lot of kneeling, and for some people that's a problem. Unfortunately, it's hard to build that strength back up. Best thing you can do is cushion yourself and just listen to your body for what your tolerance is. Good. Take one more big breath here. I'm going to release that right foot down. I'm going to release my arms so I can roll onto my back here. We're going to finish with a nice supine stretch. So keep your feet, soles of the feet on the mat, about hip width apart. I'm just going to lift my hips up, and I'm going to bring them to the right side of my mat here. Okay, so they're kind of on the outside, so I'm not so straight here. All right, that's okay. As I inhale, I'm going to lift the left leg up and just cross it over the right. And I'm going to let my legs fall towards the right. So the hips to the right, the legs to the right, the gaze goes to the left. You can bring your arms again into cactus if you want to get a little bit of a chest stretch here. A little bit of a full torso stretch. Should feel nice and good. Good. Letting yourself melt on those exhales. Giving me one more big breath here. Nice slow exhale to melt. Engaging that core as you inhale, bringing those legs back up, uncrossing them. First, find your nice neutral spine. You're going to lift your hips towards the left. Right leg crosses over the left. As you exhale, let the knees fall over to the left as your gaze comes to the right. Just changing up that little supine twist just a little bit, getting a slight variation here. Feeling that release through the torso. Letting yourself melt. Good. Give me one more big slow breath, guys. Alas, we are about to finish our class here. Engage your core. Bring those legs back up to center. Recenter your spine and walk those feet back out. We're going to take our Shavasana here. Letting our eyes close, palms facing up, letting that body relax. Just taking note how you feel, coming back to your intention, your internal focus. Your joints, your muscles, or whatever you decided. Just take note how they're feeling now. If you took note of your joints, or not even, just take note how your knees feel. Maybe squeeze your quads a little bit, get those kneecaps moving, get the blood flowing. Hopefully, nobody had too much problem today. Remembering that yoga is about our bodies, our spiritual selves, our internal selves as well. So when the physical part is not easy, remember it's your choice, and yoga is just an option for every little piece along the way. It's up to you to take it or not, to figure out what serves your body and what doesn't. Sometimes there's trial and error as we figure it out ourselves. Nobody knows you as well as you know yourself. So please feel free to stay in Shavasana a little longer. I know we didn't have much time today. So if you've got a little longer, you can stay here and you can finish your practice here. Otherwise, you're going to inhale, lifting the right arm or left arm overhead, doesn't matter. You're going to roll onto that side body, connecting the other hand to the ground just for a second. then pushing yourself up when you're ready into a comfortable seat. I'm going to take kneeling, but please, if that's not good for you, sit on your bum, stay in Shavasana. Wherever you are, though, think of a nice long spine, relaxing the shoulders, palms come together, heart center in prayer. Eyes are closed or downcast, thanking our bodies for everything they've done for us. Thanking our knees, hopefully, for doing their best today. Thanking our fellow yogis for sharing in their energy and their practice. And I'm also thankful that we have a nice long weekend coming up. So from the light in me to the light of you, namaste. So when you're ready, guys, please get some more water, move gently. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you want. Remember, next week we have yoga for flexibility. So a bit more high pace, but not quite as bad as that yoga for strength.